What's up? J Street Moto here, and welcome to the channel. Thanks for choosing to watch this video. This is going to be day 8 in a 15-day trip that me and my two best friends took from Charlotte, North Carolina to the Pacific Ocean back. I'm super stoked about today, or at least I was when I woke up this morning, the morning that this video was made. I was super stoked because we were going to be making it to the Pacific Ocean, which is what we failed to do in 2020 when we took this trip originally. There is, as I mentioned in the day 5 video, there was a little twist today, and we ended up not getting the view that we thought we were going to get at the Pacific. More on that later. So we woke up that morning. There's Juan putting his stuff on the bike. We got loaded up and we started heading further west from Napa Valley so that we could go to the Pacific Coast Highway, run a little bit of it up to an overlook, and then we were going to, see the Pacific, take some pictures there and such. After we crossed over the bay, headed towards the Pacific Ocean, this is what we ran into. Fog so dense that it actually felt like rain. I chose to leave this video in here because for those of you watching this that don't ride, or maybe you've got a family member that rides but you've never been on a bike, whatever the case may be, this is sort of what it's like when you're on a motorcycle and you have your helmet on or eyewear on and it is raining. You pretty much can't see. We don't have windshield wipers. So, that results in this kind of is your view when you're on a motorcycle and the weather conditions aren't optimal. As you can tell, we can't see anything. We're on the Pacific Coast Highway. The Pacific Ocean's actually off to our left right now, and we're completely unable to see any of it because of the dense fog that's in the area. We ended up riding to a lookout, getting off, trying to see if we could see anything from there. While we were there, we met this older woman with her dog. She was out for a walk. We said hello to the puppy, and she recommended going back down the way that we came, and there was a beach access down there. So we ended up riding down, parking at a beach access and walking out to the Pacific so that we could actually see it. But I just thought, it was comical how, you wake up in the morning, you know what you're planning to do, you know what you want to do, and then Mother Nature changes your plans, or at least makes it so that you can't do what it was that you were initially trying to do, as was the case today. Oddly enough, for day 8, we started out heading to the Pacific, then we're going to leave there and come back across kind of the way that we came in, so that we can end up in Carson City tonight after riding through Lake Tahoe. The day ends up being only about, I want to say it's like 320, 330 miles, something like that. It was a relatively short day in terms of riding. But we started the day out in wet conditions, fog that was almost like rain, even probably a sprinkle in there or two. And as we're riding to Tahoe, about the time we get to Lake Tahoe, we hit rain again. So there's going to be a lot of rain in this video that y'all are watching. Apologies for that up front, but the reality is the whole reason I'm doing this is so folks can experience what it's like to take these trips, kind of what's going through our heads and what we're dealing with along the way. And that is the reality of this day. There was a lot of rain with some sunshine and warm weather in the middle. So that was us taking pictures up at the overlook. You could see there was no visibility to the Pacific Ocean behind us. Now, though, we are getting ready to pull into the beach parking lot, and there's some photos here of the actual ocean. So this was us walking down to the beach. There was a cool group of people down there with their dogs that were, doing what Californians do at the beach on a weekend, or during the middle of the week. In this case, this was a Sunday, so still on the weekend. And we were able to see the Pacific Ocean. We were able to walk down to it, touch it, and say that we made the Pacific on our motorcycles. So, the the overall goal of this ride was to make it here, and we did. I think there was a sense of relief from all of us that we actually made it. This is us pulling out and leaving from that beach access point and starting to make our way to Carson City. Apologize up front for some of the background audio that you're hearing. I can't remember whether I talked to you guys about how I do audio on my bike. I'm the only one that doesn't have like a touring motorcycle that has a stereo that comes with it. So what I've got is a MTX, a Kuryakin Thunder Max speaker that's mounted on my handlebars, and it's Bluetooth capable, and so I just pull up Spotify and have that play on that speaker. When we're not going highway speeds, that noise kind of gets picked up in the background, and I apologize for that up front. Sometimes the wind's just too much. The wind noise is too much. It's too fatiguing, and I find that it's better for me to wear earbuds. So I have some Bluetooth earbuds from Beats that I wear that do a decent job of blocking the wind noise and still let me hear the music that I'm wanting to listen to while I'm riding, because everybody's got their own preference. I prefer to have music while I'm riding. It just, I don't know, I feel like I'm riding to a soundtrack, I guess. I don't know any other way to describe it, but I like having something to listen to when I'm riding other than just the sound of the motorcycle. Not that I don't like the sound of my motorcycle, just that, sometimes you want to listen to something. So I apologize for that. So let's talk about day 6 and 7. I chose not to do a video for those 2 days. We literally got to Napa Valley Thursday evening in time to drop the bikes off for our service appointments. Our wives picked us up and brought us home, or brought us back to the Airbnb where we were staying for the next couple of days. And Friday morning we woke up and we went and toured some wineries. Then Saturday we got up and we went and saw the redwoods. We drove through some of that and got to take some cool pictures, and then ended up visiting a couple of distilleries. So, as I've mentioned before, David, Juan, and I are all kind of bourbon guys. While we all drink wine too, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're not going to discriminate. But so Friday and Saturday had something in it for kind of everybody that was on the trip, and that's really the point of doing something like this, is making sure that you all have a good time, and we certainly did. We really enjoyed our time in Napa, if for no other reason. We had 2 days where we didn't have to wake up in the morning and think about going and riding 700 miles on a bike. Not that we don't enjoy that, but sometimes you just kind of want to take a break. So I don't know from the other guys' perspectives if they feel the way that I do, but I know for me, as soon as I've hit kind of where we're turning around and starting to make our way back to North Carolina or back home, there's this kind of sensation or feeling of, all right, we're on our way back home. You're still enjoying the ride, and you still know there's a lot of potential adversity between you and where you're going. But there's this sense of, I'm no longer going away from home. I'm starting to go back to home, and I don't get that pretty much in any situation other than when I'm on the bike. I mean, there's a part of me that's like kind of feels that way when I travel overseas, and I'm like, all right, I'm heading back home now. But for the most part, it's more a thing of something on the bike, like kind of when you're running a 5K or a 10K, or if you one of those crazy people that runs a marathon, you pass the halfway point, and there's this feeling of, okay, I can make it, I can do it. It's because this is tiring. It's an exhausting kind of trip. But from a physical and mental standpoint, it gets pretty tiring doing what we're doing. Um, in 2020, David and I actually, our turnaround point was Lake Tahoe. So we're getting ready to ride through some of the same areas that David and I rode through in 2020. In fact, that tunnel that's in the intro for my videos, we will go through it today with Juan and David. So that gave me a chance, just like a few days ago when we were riding through that area of the desert, that I was able to capture the same video and replace the stuff that I was using for my intro with both of them instead of just me and David. I'm able to do it here with the tunnel. So, but we were coming into Tahoe from a different direction. When David and I rode to Tahoe in 2020, we came up through Death Valley. So we ended up coming up from the south into Carson City, and then running west from Carson City to get over to Lake Tahoe. On this day, we are running from the west coast straight east and running through the mountains to get to Tahoe. And of course, the rain is making it so you can't see how truly, amazing this area is, because there is some really gorgeous scenery riding through this part of California, Northern California. But again, this is, raw video, and what Mother Nature gives you is what you got to work with.
My love was in ever again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never.
About the time we got into what is, considered the, Lake Tahoe proper, I would say, the rain stopped. The weather cleared up. We could tell that it had been through there because the roads were still wet, but we were able to. We decided to visit one of the liquor stores there in Tahoe that we frequented when we were staying there during our first trip, just because we knew they had a fairly decent selection. So we went there. Everybody, I think, bought a couple of bottles, and then we found an access to get down to where we could see the lake that was still sort of on our way to the direction we were heading. So we ended up leaving there and going down to let Juan see Lake Tahoe. And I think that's about the time we all, took off our rain gear, put the stuff back in the saddlebags, and then we started heading to Carson City, and it was dry from here on out. Pretty much, it was a fairly nice ride to finish up in Carson City on that day. But yeah, so if you've never had the chance to go to Lake Tahoe, I strongly suggest that you put that on your bucket list of places to go visit. It's a rather unique area because there's a It's pretty much always in its tourist season. If it's wintertime, folks are coming there to ski because there's a lot of good skiing right around there. And if it's summertime, folks are coming there to enjoy the lake. So they really never have a downtime in terms of their tourist season. So, irrespective of what you like to do, whether you like the more summer activities or whether you like the more winter activities, Lake Tahoe has something to offer you. So that's my little plug for them. And it's just an absolutely gorgeous part of the country. It truly is. Some of the best pictures I've taken in my life were taken in Lake Tahoe and of the surrounding geography and lake itself. So we're winding down day 8. This day we ended up doing 307 miles. And by the end of it, we had raised $4,252 towards our $15,000 goal for Susan G. Komen. That fundraiser is still active. It's going to remain active throughout the release of all these daily videos. So if you feel compelled to donate and help fight breast cancer, your donations would be very accepted. The link to our website that allows it to count towards what we were doing is in the description of this video. It's also in the comments section. So if you feel compelled to donate, thank you in advance. We're now coming into the part of Lake Tahoe where that tunnel is that I told you I was able to get a video of today to replace my intro. Let's talk about day 9, because day 9 is a big one. So in day 9, we are going to be riding US 50 through Nevada. And here's the tunnel right here. So this should look familiar to you if you've watched any of the other videos from this series. This is the beginning where I put up my channel name. Day 9's a big day. We're going to be riding US 50, which through Nevada, the section of it from Carson City, Nevada, down to about the Utah state line is considered the loneliest highway in America. And there's a reason for that. You will see it. But it is an amazing ride. That's going to be happening on the next video that I release. So, hopefully you'll come back and see that one. I'm trying to release the videos every 5 days. So every 5th day there's a video that comes out. If you decide to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, you don't even have to think about it. YouTube will just tell you when a new video is dropped and you're able to go watch it. I hope you've enjoyed today's content. I truly have. I hope you've enjoyed all the videos that I've created. It's something that I'm just trying out. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you hanging out this long, and we will talk to you soon. Till then, ride safe.